Good morning, Internet fans. Ryan Perry here, Simple Biz Support. Today is Thursday, April 21st. Therefore, it is Internet Marketing Thursday. And as usual, I have Virginie Dorn, the CEO of Business Website Center in Petaluma. Good morning, Virginie.
Mr. Perry, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. We're crossing our fingers that we figured out the audio issue regarding Google Hangouts. So we will know after 15 minutes when this episode is done if we possibly have found a solution.
One can only hope.
One can only hope. That is true. Speaking of hope, there's a lot of business owners out there that are hopeful for being on the first page of Google. They are struggling to get on the first page of Google. They're probably a little frustrated. They're like, hey, I'm blogging, I'm using keywords, but it seems that my competition's doing something different than I am in order to get that first page ranking. And we're going to talk about something that's a little geeky. It's a little, it's not something that the faint of heart or somebody who doesn't have coding experience would necessarily want to do themselves. However, if you do have WordPress, there are plugins to make it easier. But we're going to go into a detail on structured data markup, which is actually, I don't know, is it a program or is it just a tool of Google's?
It's a Google tool for sure.
Okay. And what exactly is structured, I got to look over again, structured data markup, and how is it that it can help somebody boost their ranking on Google?
Yes, so remember those three important words this week: structure, data, markup. It is a Google tool presented by Google and recommended by Google to improve your ranking with their search engine. So that's its sole purpose, is search engine ranking. So it's important to take a look at it. It's actually was started by Google quite a few years ago. It had a slow moving up in terms of the popularity among webmasters. And truly at the beginning, it was so complicated. And like many other Google products, everybody was wondering, is that one going to stay or is that going to evaporate? But it's still there. And actually, they've made it better and more user-friendly. And even now, non-programmers can set up their structured data markup via an account called Google Webmaster. So let's start with that. So there is such a thing as a Google Webmaster account. So you might be familiar with Google Analytics or any other kind of Google dashboard. It's one and the same. And all you need to have a Google Webmaster account is to have a Gmail account. And to access it, actually just a little tip for people out there, you can just log into your Gmail account, open a new tab and search for Google Webmaster. I'll take you to the homepage for that product, and then click login, and automatically you would be gaining a Google Webmaster account. And this is where, when you arrive to the first page of that dashboard, you will see there is a section called Structured Data Markup. This is where I would want you to click to find out how you can set up those markups for your web pages, so then Google can better understand what your pages do.
Yeah, and then just to clarify, the Webmaster tool, they rebranded, so it's also known as the Search Console. So if you hear somebody talking about Search Console, it's kind of one and the same thing. It's been Webmaster tool since the beginning of time. So I still call it that. Obviously, Virginie still calls it that, and most people knows what it is, but for some reason, I know it was about a year ago, they decided to change the name. And the interesting thing with the Search Console Webmaster tools is that if you have a Google Analytics account, just as an extra little tip, they are separate. So you actually need to connect those accounts together to get all the information that you can possibly get out of both of them.
Yes, but it's worth doing. Again, those are free tools from Google telling you how you can have better ranking for free on the internet. So it's not like paid ads when you have to pay for the visibility and the click-through. This is absolutely free. You just need to take the time to understand how to do that. So now you're on Google Webmasters, you're looking at the structured data markup. And again, the goal is to explain to Googlebot, which is that crawler that goes throughout each of your page, try to understand what you do, the services, the product, and so forth. Therefore, they can give you a good ranking on page one. And but it's very not industry specific. Let me read a list. So for instance, you can do markups for different types of business. So if you do events, if you sell products, which apply to many of the e-commerce website, if you are a local business, who isn't, articles, software application, movies, restaurants, even television. And they're continually adding new type of markup. So if you don't see something specific to what you do, just go back from time to time and see if they have added your industry type. So you can do a markup for your type of product, again, clearly identifying for the bot what that product does, what's the price, why it's so good, even an image. I don't know if today we'll have time to do screen share. Perhaps today we can talk about what it does for your website, and next time we meet, we'll go page by page with our visitors today.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about it is that, you know, we had the title tag, the description tag, the keyword tools. Those were built in kind of from the beginning. That was really supposed to design to tell, you know, Google what this page was about. That was abused by SEO companies simply because they got results abusing it. And so Google has changed things, and now they're just adding another layer of information. But I think it's a little bit more specific, because I know there's like company name, who the owner is. I think we can get into your address, your phone number. And I think ultimately when you add that content, it legitimizes your business. And if you're in a competitive market space, one of the things you mentioned, I believe, was a restaurant. And so, you know, typically every city has a ton of restaurants. I forget the last stat I read on New York City, that if you ate at a new restaurant every single day, you could go your entire life without eating at a new restaurant. So search visibility is very important at that point, and being able to put in all this additional information and events, I believe, also, correct? You can put in?
Absolutely, events, which is very important, where events are coming up quickly and you're thinking, how is my event coming up next week and it's going to be showing up on Google? Google bot will be looking at structured data markup for events, and they do that very frequently, several times a day, just because someone is looking at what to do this weekend in Sonoma County, where you and I live. They want to be able to give accurate, fresh content to their searchers right away. So the structured data is very important to the bot to, again, understand what you do and why you do it best. And remember, the structured data, it is code, something that needs to be put into your pages, and it can be different for each page, but it's not visible to your visitors. It is truly in the behind the scene kind of code, and it's for Google only. And we're not sure if Yahoo, Bing, those other search engines are paying attention to them. Since it's a Google product, that isn't clear to me. But definitely the Google bot will read that first and foremost and give you better indexation.
Okay, and so since it is code, I'm assuming it needs to be put on ideally every page of the website, and then the information that you're putting in the markup should be unique to that page.
Not necessarily. I read about it. It's not, doesn't quite work that way. You can do structured data markup. It's per page. So if you start with your home page, maybe you do your home about it page. And when you go through the process, so you Google Webmaster, you go to structured data, you select a page, and then you have a very easy, super friendly dashboard there, and you just click on elements, add those, say again, like you mentioned, this is a pair of shoes, it's red, it's $10, and so forth. And then you click create HTML, and it will show you the HTML of that particular page you have selected to add the structured data markup on. And it will highlight in yellow the code to insert and where to insert it. So sometimes it's just something really short, like a half sentence, that needs to be put at the head of your page or in the middle of it. It'll tell you exactly which line. Then what you can do is give that information to your webmaster. If this is something you are not able to do on your own, either your content management system doesn't allow for it, or you don't have the time, or it's too complicated, tell your webmasters, hey, I just did structured data markup on 5 pages on my website, and those are a recommendation from Google. And it should take them minutes, truly no time at all, for them to add that little highlighted in yellow code to insert within the code of each page.
Right, because at that point you're just doing copy and paste.
Yes.
And then additionally, if you're on WordPress, there are a number of different plugins out there where you can actually add the content, or it'll create a plugin so that you can actually add the content per page, and it takes care of all the coding for you so you don't have to worry about it.
Yes. So that's what's great with WordPress. I think over maybe Joomla might do that now too. So depending on your situation, and again, even if you're on WordPress, maybe sometimes it's easier and faster and cheaper to hire your web designer to do the work for you and add that plugin and fill it out for you, than you taking time away from your core competency, which is running a business, and start becoming a webmaster on the side. So just always think where your time is best spent.
Okay, perfect. Just trying to think, structured information about your business. It's going to be unique to each page. You can go to the Google Search Console, also known as the Webmaster Tools page, put the content there, copy and paste it into your website to update it. If you're in a heavily competitive market space and you do not have the structured content, what is it? I keep on forgetting the name of it.
It's very structured data markup.
Structured data markup. On your website, this is one of those little, it's kind of like the cherry on top, if you will. If you've been doing everything else correctly, you've got your social media down, you've been blogging on a regular basis, you're keyword optimized, you're not spamming, all those type of things. This might be that little extra boost that you need in order to get on the first page. And before we actually started the show, Virginie, you mentioned that you've actually seen it firsthand where you've updated a client's website and it affected their business positively.
Yes, we were having difficulty being found for certain keywords. And by adding, because you can add keywords in the data markup, you don't want to overdo like anything else. But suddenly this started being found. So, and that was the only change we made, is we did a structured data markup on a few other pages. We didn't even do the entire website. So you don't have to do all the pages, especially if you're a big website. But, maybe do a few every week, and just individualize if you can. But it's okay to repeat a little bit because your company name is your company name after all.
Right. Okay, perfect. And I was going to say, if you're going to do the content, or you're going to add the structured data markup, I don't know why I can't remember that. Structured data markup. If you're going to add that to your website, is start with your core pages first. The home page. If you've got 10 different services, as an example, what's the first service that generates the most business for you that you want to be found for? Start on those pages and prioritize it, and then work your way down.
Yes. No, it's absolutely worth the time if your market is that competitive and you want to hold that #1 spot on page 1 of Google.
All right, perfect. And I will put a link to the Search Console, and I'm also going to include a link for a help page from Google that talks a little bit more about structured data markup, so that those that are interested can go ahead and find it. Any last second comments?
No, it's definitely worth the time. Again, only if you're interested in being found on Google and holding that top position. Structured data markup, Google it. It'll give you a bunch of information. Take a look at the links Ryan is going to be posted. It is worth the time.
All right, perfect. That is it for today's show. Virginie, as always, I appreciate the time and energy that you put into this, and I appreciate you being a part of our success out there in the world.
Well, thank you for the compliment, and have a beautiful day.
All right, everybody, that's it for today's show. We will see you next Thursday. Next Thursday, actually, no. I'm going to be in Cabo San Lucas. The internet there is horrible. I'm going to be on vacation also. So it'll be, I believe, 2 weeks, and then you're taking off at some point too. So I got to find some, we're going to have to find a co-host to help me out while you're away on vacation.
Yeah, I'm only away next week. Going to
Oh, you're gone next week too. That's right. So it works out perfectly then.
Yes.
All right. Wonderful. Virginie, thank you much. Everybody, we will see you in 2 weeks then. Take care.